Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. Before we get started, don't forget to check out my previous videos on Queen Elizabeth I and Catherine de Medici. I would really appreciate it if you could like and share this video. And if you want to keep up to date with all my new videos, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Today I thought we would talk about someone truly inspirational. A seriously brave woman who was willing to risk her life to save hundreds of children who faced almost certain death without her. So, let's talk about Irena Sendler. Irena was born on the 15th of February 1910 in Ottawa, Poland. Her father was a doctor and both of her parents were members of the Polish Socialist Party. She grew up in Ottawa, about 15 miles outside of Warsaw. Her father was a humanitarian and treated the poorest communities in the town. Unfortunately, he contracted typhus and died while Irena was still a child. But it's easy to see where she got her care in nature and some of her really great attributes from. In 1931, Irena married and with her husband moved to Warsaw. Here she found her calling as a social worker. Most of her work involved helping to run the city's canteens. These were places that provided assistance to the poorest members of the community. A lot of this job involved working with the Jewish community, who were living in the most impoverished part of the city, known as the Warsaw ghettos. Irena was passionate about her work helping others, but her true work was yet to begin. In 1939, the Nazis invaded Warsaw. I think it's really important to point out that Irena was only 30 years old. As the Jewish community were held prisoner in the ghettos and forced to live in quickly decreasing conditions, Irena's work became more important than ever. The canteens began to provide more and more services. Life in the ghettos, if you can call it life, soon became unbearable for the people living there. Disease was rife, basic supplies almost non-existent, and death due to starvation and illness became an all too common occurrence. It's impossible to describe just how horrific the conditions were there. The Nazis were determined to make life miserable for the Jewish community, and as we know, their problems were only just starting. This is when we see what a strong woman Irena really was. She decided she couldn't sit by and do nothing. She had to help. She decided with a group of her colleagues to take action. They became part of Zagota, short for the Konrad Zagota Committee, the council to aid Jews. Their aim was to get as many children out of the ghettos as possible. They started off rescuing orphans. They found a great number of creative ways to move children out of the ghettos. Children were moved in potato sacks, in ambulances, and snuck through a system of underground tunnels. When things got really desperate, they even resorted to hiding children inside coffins to get them away to safety. As things continued to get worse, Irena decided that saving orphans wasn't going to be enough. She wanted to save as many children as she possibly could. So Irena began trying to convince parents to let her attempt to get their children away to safety. There was no way she could guarantee success, but the alternative of staying and doing nothing meant almost certain death. This must have been a near impossible decision for parents. As a mother, I can't imagine having to make that kind of decision. Irena kept the names of all the children she helped get out in a jar, buried in the ground. Her hope was to reunite as many children as possible with their families once the war was over. Sadly, most of the parents wouldn't live to see the liberation of the ghettos. It's so hard to imagine being in such an awful situation. But choosing to save as many children as she could, at huge risk to her own life, shows what a strong and compassionate woman Irena was. She knew that if she was caught, she would pay with her life, but she didn't let this stop her from doing what she knew was right. So, on October 20th, 1943, Irena found this nightmare becoming a reality. She was arrested and taken to Powake prison. Here she was repeatedly tortured, but refused to give up the names of any of her accomplices or give any of the details of what they'd been doing. Irena was actually sentenced to death, but fortunately some of the members of Zagota managed to bribe prison officials and she was released in February 1944. And showing again just how strong she was, she went straight back to rescuing children. When the war ended, Zagota had rescued an estimated 2,500 children, and Irena's thought to be personally responsible for about 400 of them. Just living through this time must have been hell on earth. But doing so much to help others in their greatest time of need shows a true strength of character that fortunately most of us never have to find. Irena was brave, determined, and a true inspiration. If there had been more people like her at the time, things may have turned out differently. Irena died on May the 12th, 2008, at the age of 98. She lived an extraordinary life. Most of us can only hope to find the compassion, strength and bravery that she displayed. Let me know what you think of Irena in the comments. Had you heard of her before? Did you know about all the amazing things she did to save hundreds of children? How do you think you would have coped through such a traumatic time? Things like this really do bring out the best in people, and it's amazing the strength you find when you're forced to act or turn a blind eye. Please like and share this video so we can tell more people about the amazing Irena. As they say, diamonds are created under immense pressure, and Irena was definitely a diamond. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more real life superwomen. I hope you have a really great day and you're inspired to do something good. I'll see you next time to talk about some more inspirational women.